Today we're going to talk about Canadian singer Celine Dion. The queen of power ballads, Celine is one of the best-selling singers in history, so I'm going to break down her career and analyze to see just how many records she actually sold. Celine Dion catalog in fact contains 3 rather than 1 discography, most successful one being her English albums one since 1919, then her adult French albums one started in 1991. The third one is made of early Celine material issued from 1981 to 1987, mostly released in Canada. She released 27 studio albums, 7 live albums, 19 compilation albums, and 25 box sets. I will count studio albums, the sales of original album, other releases, sales of compilations, and live material granted thanks to the albums, physical singles, sales of physical singles from the album, and download singles, sales of digital singles from the albums. So basically this will be a pure sales video. Sources for this series are Billboard, Nielsen SoundScan, Recording Industry Association of America, public certifications, and magazines such as Times, Rolling Stones, and others. First, her English album discography. Her first album, Unison, was released in 1990 and it sold 3,600,000 copies. Her second studio album, Celine Dion, was released in 1992 and it sold 6,600,000 copies. Album The Color of My Love was released in 1993 and it sold over 20 million copies. Album Falling Into You was released in 1996 and it sold over 32 million copies. Album Let's Talk About Love was released in 1997 and it sold 31 million copies worldwide. Album These Are Special Times, a Christmas album, was released in 1998 and it sold 12 million copies. Album A New Day Has Come was released in 2002 and it sold 12 million copies. Album One Heart was released in 2003 and it sold 5 million copies. Album Miracle was released in 2004 and it sold 1,900,000 copies. Album Taking Chances was released in 2007 and it sold 3,600,000 copies. Album Love Me Back to Life was released in 2013 and it sold 1,700,000 copies. Album Courage was released in 2019 and for now it sold over 400,000 copies. So her English studio albums combined are sold 118 million copies worldwide. Now her French studio albums. Her early French material from 1981 to 1987 is sold around 3,550,000 copies. Celine Dion released 7 adult French albums from 1991, her biggest one being Iconic Deux that sold about 10 million copies. Her total French studio work is sold combined 23,550,000 copies. Now let's count her compilation album sales. Celine's biggest one of course being All the Way, A Decade of Song, as the crown of her 90s work that is sold around 22 million copies. Her compilation sales combined are 29 million copies sold worldwide. Now the sales of her live albums and concert, Celine Dion in total sold 5,575,000 copies worldwide. So her total album sales worldwide are huge, 177 million albums sold worldwide. Celine Dion is an album seller. We all know that back in the days, release of the singles in any kind of physical form was reserved for leading singles and it was always limited, and singles were printed and issued only when record labels noticed huge demand on the market. So now we will count her success in singles sales, both digital and physical. Celine Dion released 153 official singles, but I will count all songs from her albums. These are top 5 best-selling Celine Dion songs. Number 1, My Heart Will Go On from Let's Talk About Love, 1997, it sold 18 million copies worldwide. Number 2, Because You Love Me from Falling Into You, 1996, it sold 5,500,000 copies worldwide. Number 3, It's All Coming Back to Me Now from Falling Into You from 1996, it sold 3,600,000 copies worldwide. Number 4, The Power of Love from The Color of My Love from 1993 is sold 3,400,000 copies worldwide. And number 5, Think Twice from The Color of My Love 1993 is sold 3 million copies worldwide. These 5 songs alone are sold in 33 and 500,000 copies alone. The rest of her songs has sold a lot less, but Celine Dion has a big catalog, the quantity, and combined they're sold around 75 million copies worldwide. Just in comparisons, even though Celine Dion is not a huge single seller, that her single sales outsold everything the legendary Aretha Franklin released according to her label. The queen of power ballads, Celine Dion, sold up to 250 million records worldwide. Pretty impressive. Now, who would you like to see next in this series? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, follow me on my Instagram account, and support our channel by becoming a patron on Patreon, and with a bunch of rewards help us creating together a great content with your favorite artists. Bye!